trying to get rid of that fret buzz at the 12th fret. I'm using this box cutter, loosen up all the strings, put the box cutter underneath and positioned it pretty much on top of the 11th fret. I've got this as a fretboard protector, and a special fret file. Trying to concentrate, pretty much trying, do my best to keep what's coming off in the area where that G string is. But one of the things I did prior to loosening up the strings, this steel shimming I have is 2/1000 thick, and when I was fretting with the strings in tune, pressing down at the 11th fret, that shimming would go underneath the G string all the way across the fret at the 12th fret. It had at least this 2/1000 clearance. Then I fretted at the 13th fret and went up to the 14th, and also the 2/1000 shim would fit underneath. When I fretted at the 12th fret and tried to get this underneath at the 13th fret, it wouldn't go. So that's a pretty good indication that that particular fret in that particular spot happens to be higher than the others. It's a fairly long process. I don't want to take off too much material. And as far as filing it, retuning up the string, seeing if the buzz is still there, and it has been over quite a few tries with the file, but retuning, doing the same thing over and over again, it seems like the buzzing is getting better. At least, I mean, the decrease of the buzzing is getting better. And of course, it's important to get it tuned to the proper G note that it should be tuned to. And with that tension, check everything with the proper amount of tension on the string. Still seems like there's some buzz. Loosen it back up. It doesn't look like that big of a deal, but it did. I've got a stained pen, red mahogany, but this the high side of the fret seemed to not be fully protected with that fretboard protector. But like I said, that's my bad. I should have used masking tape in addition to using the fretboard protector. Got a little piece of red Scotch-Brite here. One of the things I also did that I forgot to mention in the other video I did use lemon oil again on the fretboard. So, might as well start with the G again, you know, with all 6 strings tightened and tuned back up. That can, you know, change everything a lot more than you'd think it would. Last night I just stopped, although the slight buzz was still there, and I decided if I was going to put that much time into getting rid of it, then get rid of it. So I came back down this morning, did more filing. I did use the masking tape in addition to the fretboard protection tool. And one of the things that I had pointed out that I had noticed was on the G string, fretting at the 12th fret, this 2/1000th shim was not going, and it is now. Pretty, maybe just the slightest bit of drag on it, but it is going. And it was going under at the 13th fret. It was going underneath for all the other strings, which kind of explained the buzzing. Just on the G string, it just had that one high spot on that particular fret. But the other thing I have is this little cheat card Fritz ruler. At the 12th fret, it gives an approximate height of where the low E string should be, and then flip the guitar around and for the high E string. And what I noticed, it's just a little bit on the high end on the low E string. Being a machinist, I always think of things in thousandths of an inch. I would say that's less than 20 thousandths, maybe 10 thousandths higher than the lower point on the cheat card. And the high E string is like perfect. So it's right where it should be. And usually that will be one of the trade-offs you get on a more affordable instrument. You know, I would not expect anything like this, unevenness, a high spot on frets or unevenness, and you probably are. The most expensive guitars are going to have this from a particular guitar to another particular guitar. I think you're much more likely to have that QC'd and checked before it goes out the door and taken care of before it goes out the door. I certainly would expect it if I was dropping $1,000 or more, $800 or more, quite honestly, on an acoustic guitar. This was $179.99, so you can expect things like a high fret spot. You can expect things like, again, a neck isn't just a question of, you know, does it have bow in it? Does it have back bow in it? You got to think of it in terms horizontally, or however you want to look at the guitar, horizontally in regards to the frets. Wood twists as well, so you might have some of that in a neck. And there's only so much you can do about it. And as far as, again, as far as a $179.99 guitar, I think I got that as good as I am going to get it, and I'm satisfied with it. So I'm almost of the opinion, if I'm going to spend anything on a guitar, and I can do some work to it to make it better, I might as well go ahead and do that. The one thing I also wanted to point out, if you have noticed, and you may have, the pickup normally would be mounted flipped over 180 degrees, but that would lead, the cord is connected all the way over on this end, and that would lead for the cord to be coming out and over here, and I didn't want that. I wanted it over here. I went ahead, and it comes with a cable clip to attach. I went ahead, it's got a hole here for a screw, but I went ahead and used double-sided 3M tape, which that uses, and mounted the jack there. But I wanted the cable over here, so I just flipped it, and like I said, it works just fine. The fret file, I would suggest giving some, it's got a break in. It's got like a coating on it that actually prevents it from doing a good filing job, removal job. But the more you use it, the more that coating breaks down. And it tends to do a much better job the more it gets used. So just to give you a heads up on that, to these strips of shimming. Like I said, I have a 1,000th similar length. This is 2,000ths, and I also have a 5,000ths. Another thing this comes in really good for, you know, I do have your regular feeler gauge, which is made out of this type of shimming. But another thing this is good for is if you need to raise your saddle, or you go to work on your saddle. This is one of the main reasons I have it. You go to work on your saddle and you sand too much material off. You can bring it back up. You just cut out very thin strips of the shimming that you need that will fit in that slot, and have the saddle sit on top of it. That's one of the main reasons I have this shimming, as I've learned the hard way to go very slowly and be patient when doing any work, including sanding down the bottom of your saddle. So that'll do it, guys. Thanks for checking this out. I will see you on the next one, and have fun. If you're trying to do work on your guitar, take breaks. When something gets frustrating, walk away, come back later. A lot of it is a question of patience and learning, but a lot of this stuff that you think you would have to take this to a professional at a shop, which you certainly can do. A lot of people just don't have that time to put in learning and doing all this themselves. So, but if you do have it and you equip yourself with the right tools, you'd be pretty surprised at what you can do on your own. And it is another source of pride related to guitars. When I can get it set up the way that I want it set up and like it being set up, and do it myself. So that's it. I will see you on the next one.